What's happening, family? It's Cast Sports again, back for another afternoon with my people. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people that just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all. Miss Cass. Hashtag JBT. Unc Dre Finest in the building. What's up, Trey? Mike Masick in the building. Al Booger also in the building. Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports The Box Dorian. This is the Friday afternoon edition. How's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? Started out with a little technical difficulty. Y'all probably heard the noise, but I got everything is scopostatic now. Yeah. Now, I didn't plan this, but if I would have planned it, it couldn't have worked out better. Remember, we talked about the jab yesterday, and today is profile day, and the profile is Larry Holmes. Arguably had the best jab in the history of the sport, widely thought by many boxing historians, and also thought by Boxdorian Cast Sports. Larry Holmes, very arguably the baddest jab in the business. And that's the profile today. We got a big top-ranked card tonight. Oscar Valdez versus Liam Wilson is the headliner. But what do these fights mean nowadays, you know? Once upon a time, a fight like Oscar Valdez and Liam Wilson would mean that the winner is going to move forward toward a title shot. The loser would suffer a setback, probably have to take another fight or two, work his way back. But nowadays, look at Sebastian Fundora. You can get knocked, you can be the loser, get knocked out, and your next fight be a title shot. So the next fight is really meaningless. We love it, but you know, the winner or the loser might get a title shot in the next fight. So, you know, what are they fighting for? The loser might get a title shot before the winner. And the way today's boxing goes, man, it's all mixed up. You know, anytime a man can get knocked out, barked out, counted out, 10, and then his next fight is a title shot. So what does tonight's fight mean anyway? I mean, what's in it for the winner? What's in it for the loser? Who knows where it is nowadays? Like I said, the loser might get a title shot before the winner. It's crazy, man. But that's how it is. Yeah. And these judges nowadays. Like I said, we love it and we put up with the nonsense, but we can complain about it. I know I do. These judges are all over the place. Like I look at Pro Box the other night, but it's not just Pro Box, it's the big cards too. You know, anytime two judges sitting there judging the same fight, supposed to be using the same criteria. One judge can give a fighter 1 round. And another judge can give the same fighter, say he won the fight. Come on, man. Now, I know the cards are not going to be exactly alike, but goddamn, how can one judge say the man won 1 round and another one say he won the fight, judging the same fight? Supposed to be using the same criteria. I mean, one is 97-94. The other one should be 97, 90, 96, 93 or something like close. Not one giving 1 round and another one say he won the fight. Come on, man. What is that? That's crazy. And I don't think it's the training. I think it's just cheating, you know. And, you know, more training is not going to cure cheating. Yeah. But we got 2 cards. We got Oscar Valdez versus Liam Wilson card tonight. Then tomorrow we have the big one. I'm not even worrying about Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora. Fundora don't even deserve a title shot. That man got sparked clean out in his last fight. What the hell is he doing fighting for a title in his next one? Shouldn't he have to beat somebody first? I mean, like, kind of work his way back to the top. But I am interested in Rolly and Pitbull. And Lara is also fighting somebody on the card. There's 3 title fights on that card. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. Salute to Bruce Gas. Welcome to another episode. We're going to be talking about the Eastern Assassin today, Larry Holmes. Life and career of Larry Holmes. Yeah. I was just talking about, there's Unc Dre Finest back in the building. What's up, Unc Dre Finest? Good to have you aboard, bro. Stop by to hear about the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. Yeah. I was just talking about the state of our sport, man. How these fights, back in the day, you'd have 2 fighters like Valdez and Wilson in there who's fighting tonight. The winner would move forward, still in line for a title shot. The loser would fall, perhaps suffer a setback. But nowadays, losers don't even suffer setbacks. You can lose and then still fight for the title your next fight. So, I mean, what is this fight all about tonight? I mean, you know, what's the meaning of it? Just look at tomorrow night, the main event. Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. Yeah, the same Sebastian Fundora that got sparked out in this last fight. Very next fight, fighting for a title. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. I can't get over that, man. That should never happen. Shouldn't he have to beat somebody, work his way back? You don't even have to earn a title shot nowadays. They just give it to you. You know? He didn't earn a title shot. So he wins. Now the man is world champion off a knockout, off getting knocked out. That's why the sport is so watered down nowadays, man. And like I always say, with the Bob Paul and Mauricio, Don King, them nuts running it, probably was better when the Mafia was in it. The government should have just left the Mafia alone and let them run it. This type of nonsense wasn't going on, man. Wasn't nobody getting knocked out and fighting for the title in the next fight. But just wasn't happening. Shouldn't happen. Damn it, you get knocked out, you got to beat somebody and work your way back to a title, man. You know what I mean? Come on, man. So that's what I'm just saying. Oscar Valdez, Liam Wilson tonight. Winner, the loser might get a title shot before the winner gets the next title shot. Who knows? It's with today's boxing. Who the hell knows what's going to happen next? You know, it's crazy, man. We're going to start in like 5 or 10 minutes talking about these cards tonight and then get on Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. That's what they called him, from Eastern Pennsylvania. Originally from Georgia, but they moved to Pennsylvania at a young age in Eastern. And that's what he became known as, the Eastern Assassin. Now I think he owns half of Eastern. Something like that. Yeah, Larry invested his money well when he was in the sport and in good shape financially now, you know. One of the guys that, was smart. As he was fighting, he was thinking about what's going to happen after boxing. Yeah, Larry was. Yeah. Big time businessman up there in Eastern now. Larry Holmes. Yeah. But yeah, the fight, I'm not even worrying about Zoo and Fundora. Fundora shouldn't even be in a title fight, man. But I'm worried. I'm looking forward to Rolly and Pitbull. I got Rolly in that one. Now, although Rolly's going to have a serious height and reach advantage, but Pitbull is used to being at a disadvantage at those two things, you know. He's the only fighter that, when he was at a height and reach a disadvantage to Tank. Tank is normally at a disadvantage in those two categories when he fights, but not against Pitbull. Yeah, Tank was the taller guy in that fight, so Pitbull is used to it. But how many big punches like Rolly has he had to work his way in there against, you know? Knows how to work his way inside and be effective, but Rolly is a big puncher. I got him catching Pitbull with something. Jay Hardcore from Hardcore Boxing News. Hashtag JBT in the building. What's up, Jay? Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Historian. We got the Eastern Assassin today, Larry Holmes, on the profile. Baddest jab in the business. And yeah, it's just a coincidence that I talked about jabs yesterday, and the profile today is Larry Holmes. It worked out kind of nice. Arguably the best jab in the business. Many historians and box historian Cast Sports believe he is. Believe he has it. I would put Hearns next, and Vladimir Klitschko had a nice one. Lennox Lewis. Yeah. And all those legendary Hall of Fame guys are not in there by accident. They all have one thing in common. You got to hit that jab, man, because that starts everything. Okay? The jab starts everything. And it's all different kinds of jabs, you know. Up jab, pawing jab, all different kinds of jabs. Backhand jab, that's when you miss, get caught off balance. That backhand jab can put you back on balance and also can help you from being counted. But you got to make sure your knuckles hit now, because any other part of your hand is illegal, you know. So when you do that backhand, got the flick jab. That was Loma was famous for that. Kind of like the snap jab, but the flick jab, you don't leave it out there. You got to get it out there and get it back, you know. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Larry Holmes. We're going to start talking. Well, I'm going to talk about these fights real quick in about 5 minutes. So how's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? It's back up to another weekend. We got another JBT meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Okay, all are welcome. All ideas are welcome. We got some positions yet to be filled. Maybe somebody out there can fill one of them, you know? Got to come to the meeting to find out. I'm on the recruitment team. Yeah. We got the technological and analytical. We got that covered. We got Remo and McQueen, Joy Fakes. That's part of the best technological analytical team on YouTube. Them two. And they enjoy that stuff. They can have it, man. Because I had no idea about that type of stuff. None whatsoever. I'm going to stick to recruiting along with J Hardcore. Everybody got a big weekend plan? I know what y'all going to be doing. Watching that fight tonight and then watching the one tomorrow. I already know. The big prime kickoff tomorrow. Yeah. Tim Zoo, the Towering Inferno. I got Zoo. Because remember the movie, The Towering Inferno? Towering Inferno burnt down, remember? So, yeah, Zoo gonna burn it down. And I got Rolling. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'll be in the Crow Show Sunday. Y'all can get me. Okay. I'll be there. I ain't gonna duck. I'm not a duck. I'm usually right, though. Yeah, but I've been wrong a couple times. So, yeah. I know Jay is going to get me if I'm wrong. Makes me how I like my crow. Little hot sauce. But I don't think I'm going to need it. I think I'm right on this one. And Lara, I don't know in a few minutes who he's fighting, but it's 3 championship fights on that card, actually. Let's talk about it. Let's start talking about it. Just the cards real quick. Okay. First one is in Arizona. This place is starting to, be pretty popular for fights out there. Oscar always fights there. Well, normally, he fights there a lot. It's the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, yeah. Valdez always fights there. Now Oscar, the main event is Oscar Valdez versus Liam Wilson. Oscar turned pro in 2012. I hope you have better one, right? And he beat Matthias Rueda in 2016 for the WBO featherweight strap. Made 6 successful defenses. He moved up to featherweight. And, he had that controversial decision over Conceição, WBC belt on the line. They robbed Robson. And guess what? He was caught for PEDs that fight. Since he stopped drinking that tea, he's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights, see? Got busted for the PEDs, now he can't win anymore. Oscar. Yeah. Lost to Shakur and Navarrete. Yep. Then he's 31-2 anyway. Just suffered his last 2 losses since he stopped drinking that tea. Mauricio and them, they let him fight anyway. Went there on PEDs, got beat, then they cheated for him. They robbed Robson. Then his opponent is Liam Wilson. He turned pro in 2018 from Australia. He also, him and Valdez lost to Navarrete last year, going for his WBO belt. Yep. Navarrete beat both of these guys. But unlike Valdez, Wilson has bounced back with 2 straight wins since he lost to Navarrete. His last win was in December. That was a close decision win over Jackson John England. And then the co-main is a women's undisputed fight. We got Denise Estrada. And we got Yocosta Valle. Minimum weight, that's 105. That's way down there. Yeah, they got men that fight down there too. No grown man should weigh 105 pounds. Like I said, I think my 7-year-old granddaughter weighed 105. But that's what they weigh. So Sinisa Estrada and Yocasta Valet going for the undisputed at minimum weight. All four of the big belts at stake. Okay. Estrada, she has the I think she has the WBA, and I'm not sure what she has, to tell you the truth, but I'll tell you in a minute. Anyway, she turned pro in 2011. She's a veteran too, 13-year veteran. And 2021, she won the WBA belt. And then last year, she won the WBC. So she has the WBA and the WBC, okay? And she's going up against Valet. So Valet has the IBF and the WBO, right? Estrada has the WBA, WBC. Valet has the WBO and IBF. They're going for undisputed tonight. Both are veterans. Valet turned pro in 2014. So they've both been in there for at least 10 years. Okay? Two veteran fighters. Should be a good strap down there. And Valet's last fight was in November. She defended her belt successfully against Ortiz. Somebody Ortiz. So Sinisa Estrada, Yocasta Valet. Elsewhere in the card, we got rising young heavyweight Richard Torres versus Donald Hainsworth. Torres is 8-0. Okay. Then we got Sergio Leon Rodriguez versus Sandy Duerson. That's middleweight. Okay. We got one of Fernando Vargas' sons, Emiliano Vargas versus Nelson Hampton in the lightweight division. Vargas comes in 8-0. I don't know what happened to the other guy. What's his name? Raymond Muratalla. He was scheduled to be on this card, but all of a sudden he's not on it. I don't know whether it was an injury or whatever, but he's not on it anymore. The final fight is Art Barrera Jr. versus Kevin Soto. Excuse me. That's super lightweight. So yeah, I was looking forward to see Raymond, but he's not on it anymore. I don't know what happened. Why he was scratched, but he was scratched. Okay. Now let's go over to Vegas. Jump over from Arizona to Vegas. To the biggie. Look at that real quick. Okay, right quick. It's Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu and the Towering Inferno. Bear with me for a minute. I had some technical difficulties when I first started. I know the people that was in here heard the noise. I was like, oh man, I'm not even gonna get started. Sebastian Fundora, that's his name. They call him the Towering Inferno, but like I said in the movie, it was a movie back in the 70s called The Towering Inferno, this building out there in Vegas, and it burnt down. Oh, come on, man. Bam. This Bam calls me the same time every day. They must have like a list wrote down like a schedule. Call Cat Sports at 2 o'clock. As soon as he go on the air. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That should be against the law, man. Okay, let's look at this card, see what's on it real quick. Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora. I got Tszyu. But I'll be at the pro show. I ain't scared of y'all. Okay. Now Tszyu is 24-0. He went 3-0 last year. He's been busy. And his confidence is off the charts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike makes it. I announced Mike makes it coming in. They hardcore Drake's finest. Yes. All my people. Bruce Gas, Al Booger, and miscast. Yeah, he went 3-0 last year. He's a WBO super welterweight champion. Putting his belt on the line tonight against Sebastian Pandora. Okay. I hear talk about him. The winner's ordered to fight Bud. Somebody said if Zoo wins, he's gonna drop the belt and fight Earl. Quack, quack. Don't tell me no shit about Earl is the bigger fight. That's the damn duck. Okay. Don't come with that nonsense about Earl is the bigger fight. That's why he dropped the belt. You just got this belt. Okay. Hand it to you. Now you're gonna drop it to fight somebody to dodge. That's a duck, man. Plain and simple. Pandora comes in with 20 wins. Just he lost his last fight, which was a stoppage loss against Brian Mendoza. That's why he shouldn't even be in this fight in the first damn place, man. Now Mendoza is a former Zeus Spawn opponent. Now he's Zeus Spawn partner. Yep. Pandora was 26 years old. Got 13 wins via knockout. And he was already going to fight for the WBC title before he got this shot. So either way, he was going for a title off of that loss. That's crazy. That's why I say like the Valdez Wilson fight hit a lot in the other card. Well, what is it for? You know, back in the day, the winner would be in line, move forward toward a title shot. The loser would fall back, have to regroup. But nowadays, the loser might get a title shot before the winner gets it. The way boxing does it nowadays. Who wins, who loses, don't even matter anymore. Anytime you can get sparked out and then get up and get the call for a title shot. And even if he wasn't getting the shot against Zoo, he was already in line for a WBC title shot. He was. That is crazy, man. Yeah, I don't care for neither one of them, Dre. This fight, Pandora doesn't even deserve a title fight, man. The man just got knocked out. What the hell are you doing fighting for a title? Shouldn't you have to beat somebody first, work your way back? Come on, man. That's crazy. But elsewhere on the card, the co-main, of course, that's what I'm waiting on. Rolly Romero versus Pitbull. Okay. Colorful personality, Rolly. Couple questionable wins on his record. Jax Marinas and Barroso. I think he lost both of them. But it is what it is. Here he is. At least he didn't get knocked out. Well, yes, he did. He did get knocked out, didn't get a title shot. Rolly, too. See what I mean? Rolly was coming off the tank knockout when he got his title shot. It's crazy, man. Boxing is just ridiculous. But he's going up against Pitbull. I got Rolly. And then we got another title fight on the card. Landy Lara versus Michael LaFera. Lara is defending his WBA middleweight strap. Cuban fighter out of that Cuban amateur program. Slick boxer. Knows all the tricks of the trade. I got Lara in that one. Yep. There's like 3 more fights. Julio Cesar Martinez versus Angelo Cordova. Okay. Flyweight. 4 title fights on the card because Martinez has the WBC flyweight title. Wow. He's fighting an undefeated fighter too. 4 title fights on the card, folks. I did not even know that one. Sergio Bohachuk versus Brian Mendoza. Brian on the card, coming off the Tim Tszyu loss. This is also a title interim. So 5 title fights on the card. Then we go for 6. Sergio, well, that's the same fight. Then the final one is Elijah Garcia versus Tyrone Davis. No belts at stake for that one. And that's in the also the middleweight division. So that's it. What did I say? 4 title fights on the card. 5. Every fight on the card is a title fight except for the one. One is an interim. Okay? Let's get ready to talk about Larry, the Eastern Assassin. Everybody okay this afternoon? Everybody hitting that appreciation button? Yes. I almost got 30 yesterday. I had 27. That was really appreciated. Man, for a minute there, I thought I had accidentally went on somebody else's channel or something. 27 likes. My record is 30. I did get 30 one time. Profile there is Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. That's him. I'm gonna drop this down some now. Put it right there. Go back to the top of my presentation. The Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. Oh man, I wanted to be at the bottom. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the profile today. Let's start talking about Larry. That's old retired Larry there. Businessman Larry. Okay. The Eastern Assassin. Okay. A look at the life and career of Larry Holmes. Lonnie Lee in the building. Salute Lonnie Lee. I knew it was about time for Lonnie to get you. How are you today, Lonnie? We're going to talk about Larry Holmes today. You already know that. You're in here every day. You knew that way back Monday. I got some people coming to do some work. Watch them come, right? While I'm doing this. But they get started and I might be interrupted for like 2 minutes to get them going, but it's okay. We'll get through it, okay? Now, Larry Holmes, he was born November 3rd, 1949. He's about what, 74, 70, he'll be 75 this year. Former American professional boxer. He competed from 1973 to 2002, right? 20-year career. Was a world heavyweight champion from 1978 until 1985. Often considered to be one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Grew up in Eastern Pennsylvania. That's where he got his nickname, the Eastern Assassin. Okay? That's where he got his nickname, Eastern Assassin. He was actually born in Georgia, but I'll tell you about that. Okay? Now, total fights of 75, final record, he won 69, only had 6 losses, 44 by knockout, okay? Now, Holmes' left jab is often rated among the best in heavyweight boxing history. Boxing history, period, okay? Not just heavyweight boxing. And in addition to holding the WBC heavyweight title from 1978 to 1983, Holmes held the Ring Magazine and lineal heavyweight title from 1980 to 1985. And he had the inaugural IBF heavyweight title from 1983 to 1985. I told you about that before when I was doing the history of the sanctioning bodies. The IBF wanted some credibility. So when they first got started, they took some champions that were already champions of other sanctioning bodies and just made them their champion. Larry was one of them, okay? But some kind of way he had to drop the WBC, but that's a long story. But here he was the inaugural IBF champion. Didn't win it. They just, was awarded it because they wanted credibility on their belt. Now, Holmes won his first 48 professional fights, okay? Oh, shoot. Including wins over Ken Norton. That was the man he originally defeated for the belt in 1978. He was the 4th WBC champion in 4 months at that time. Yep, they had 4 champions in 4 months. He also defeated Muhammad Ali, Ernie Shavers, Mike Weaver, Jerry Cooney, Tim Weatherspoon, Carl Williams, the original Truth, Carl the Truth Williams, okay, and Marvis Frazier. Now, Holmes fell 1 short of matching Rocky Marciano's career record of 49-0 when he lost to Michael Spinks in 1985. Now, that was very controversial. You know, a lot of people, a lot of historians think he won, including Cash Sports. The Box Story believe Holmes won that fight, okay? So I think he really tied Marciano. And had the rematch. Also lost that controversially. Then he retired the following year after losing that one, but he made repeated comebacks, right? And he was unsuccessful in 4 further comeback attempts against Mike Tyson in 1968, Evander Holyfield in 1992, Oliver McCall in 1995, and Brian Nielsen in 1997. Okay, unsuccessful. 4 comeback attempts. Larry was. Could not gain any kind of variation of the heavyweight title, any other sanctioning belts. 4 tries. Failed all 4 times. He fought his last fight in 2002 at 52 years old against 334-pound Eric Butterbean Esch. And like I said, he ended up with 69 wins, 6 losses. And all his losses came in title fights. Yeah. All his losses came in title fights. Larry. Yeah. 75 total fights. Now, like I said before, he is frequently ranked as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And he's been inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame. International being the more prestigious one, right? He's the only boxer to have defeated Muhammad Ali by stoppage. Only man to stop Muhammad Ali. He's the last living boxer to have defeated Ali. Larry Holmes. Okay? Let's take a look at Larry's early life. BN Boxing News in the building. Yeah, Bruce. Ray Mercer. Salute to BN Boxing News. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Another Fire JBT channel. Okay, let's quick look at Larry's early life. Okay. Now, Larry, like I said, he was born, well, Larry, he was the 4th of 12 children born to John and Flossie Holmes, right? They was originally born in Georgia, but in 1954, the family moved to Eastern Pennsylvania, in the Lehigh Valley region of Eastern Pennsylvania. Now, his father went to Connecticut, where he visited the family every 3 weeks, and he worked as a gardener, okay? Now, his mother said his father didn't forsake us. He just didn't have anything to give. We just owed out. The family survived on welfare. And to help support his family, Larry dropped out of school when he was in the 7th grade and went to work at a car wash, making $1 an hour. Later, he got a job driving a dump truck. And he also worked in a Lehigh Valley quarry. Okay. Let's take a look at Larry Holmes' amateur career. Now, he started boxing at 18 years old, right? In his 21st fight, he boxed Nick Wells in the semifinals of the 1972 National Olympic Trials down in Fort Worth, Texas. Wells was a southpaw, and Wells was known for his unprecedentedly high knockout rate, right? For an amateur. And the majority of Wells' knockouts came in the first round. And he stopped Holmes in the first round. Yeah. But nevertheless, Holmes was still chosen by a selection committee of the National Olympic Authorities to fight at the Olympic box off in West Point, New York, where he had a matchup versus Dwayne Barbic. Okay, there's Dwayne. Now, Dwayne dropped Larry in the first round with a right to the head. Larry got up and danced out of range, landing several stiff jabs in the process. Now, in the second round, Barbic mauled Holmes, but he could not corner him. Now, the referee warned Holmes twice in the second round for holding. Now, in the third round, Barbic landed several good right hands, and he began to corner Holmes. And Holmes continued to hold. And eventually, Holmes lost the fight by disqualification for excessive holding. Yep. And that was his last amateur fight. I think he had 22. I think he was 19-3 in the amateurs. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Let's go to the professional right. Yeah, 19-3 in the amateurs. 19-3. Dwayne Barbic was his final fight. Yep. Dwayne Barbic actually lost to that Olympics. He lost to the guy from Cuba, was Teofilo Stevenson. Teofilo Stevenson. Dwayne Barbic lost to him, like in the quarterfinals, something like that, in that Olympics, 72 year. Dwayne made the team, lost to Teofilo, the eventual gold medalist. Yeah. Okay. Larry's early years of his professional career. Okay. Now, like I told you, after compiling a record of 19-3 as an amateur boxer, right? Larry turned professional on March 21st, 1973. His first fight, he won a 4-round decision against Rodell Dupree. Now, early in Larry's career, I know y'all all heard this, he worked as a sparring partner for Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ernie Shavers, and Jimmy Young. Now, he was well paid, and he learned a lot. Larry said, I was young, and I didn't know much, but I was holding my own sparring those guys. I thought, hey, these guys are the best, the champs. If I can hold my own now, what about later in my boxing career, right? Yeah, so he was holding his own with those guys early in his career. Okay. Now, Holmes first gained credibility as a contender when he upset the hard-punching Ernie Shavers in March 1978. Yeah, there he is fighting Ernie there. Holmes beat Shavers by a lopsided 12-round unanimous decision, winning every round on 2 scorecards and all but one on the third. Now, Holmes' victory over Shavers set up a title shot between Holmes and WBC heavyweight champion Ken Norton in Las Vegas on June 9th, 1978. There's Norton. Okay. Went up against Norton after Shavers. He got his title shot against Norton. Holmes met Norton on June 9th, 1978 in a tough, competitive fight. Now, after 14 rounds, all 3 judges had the fight dead even, 7 rounds apiece. But Holmes rallied late in the 15th round to win the fight on 2 scorecards. Took the WBC split decision, title by split decision. And that was when he was the 4th WBC champion in 4 months. Because Muhammad Ali had it. Leon Spinks beat him. Spinks got stripped because he wouldn't fight Norton. He wanted to fight, gave Ali the rematch. It was given to Norton, and then Holmes beat Norton. 4 champions in 4 months. Is that crazy? Okay. Now, in his first 2 title defenses, Holmes easily knocked out, oh, come on, guys, Alfredo Escalera, that's Alfredo, and Arce Ocasio, that's Arce. That was his first 2 title defenses once he got that WBC title. Okay. Alfredo Escalera and Arce Ocasio. Knocked both of them out. Now his 3rd title defense was a much tougher one. Okay. He faced, why do they keep doing that? He faced future WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver. There's Mike. Mike was lightly regarded going into that fight. Okay. He had a 19-8 record coming into that fight, right? So he was very lightly regarded. And after fighting 10 tough rounds, Holmes dropped Weaver with a right uppercut late in round 11. And in the 12th round, Holmes immediately went on the attack, backing Weaver into the ropes and pounding him with powerful rights until the referee stepped in and stopped it. But it was a much tougher fight than Holmes anticipated going in. He said after the fight, "This man knocked the devil out of me. This man might not have had credit before the night, but you'll give it to him now." That's what Holmes said about Weaver after that fight. Okay. Now, 3 months later, on September 28th, 1979, Holmes had a rematch with Ernest Shavers, okay, who got a title shot by knocking out Norton in 1 round, okay? Shavers knocked Norton out in 1 round, so he got the rematch with Holmes, okay? Now, Holmes dominated the first 6 rounds, but in the 7th, Shavers dropped Holmes with a devastating overhand right, because Shavers was like part of the hardest puncher of all time. All those guys back from that era will tell you, if you ask them who they got punched hardest by to a man, they will all say Shavers. And in the 7th round, Shavers dropped Holmes after Holmes dominated the first 6 rounds. Devastating overhand right. But Holmes got up and survived the round and went on to punish Shavers in the 11th round, and the referee stopped the fight in the 11th round. Okay. Now, Holmes' next 3 defenses were knockouts, 3 straight knockouts again. Lorenzo Zanin. There's Lorenzo. Lorenzo fighting Ken Norton, but that was Holmes' next fight after the Shavers rematch. Then he knocked out Leroy Jones. There's Big Leroy, big boy. And Scott Liddell. Knocked those 3 out back to back to back. Okay. Then, on October 2nd, 1980, at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Holmes defended his title against Muhammad Ali, who had no business in the ring. Okay? When you see Muhammad Ali cowering up like that, man, come on. It was sad, man. Holmes didn't want to do it, but Ali got in there, so Holmes had to do his job. He wasn't gonna let the man take his belt because he was his idol. No, had to beat his idol up. So this was October 2nd, 1980, Caesar's Palace. And Ali was coming out of retirement for this fight in an attempt to become the first 4-time world heavyweight champion. Okay. Holmes dominated. Ali was 38 years old at the time. Holmes won every round on all 3 judges' scorecards, right? At the end of the 10th round, Angelo Dundee, Ali's trainer, stepped in to stop the fight, as Holmes was inflicting major damage on Ali, handing Ali the only stoppage defeat of his career. And like I said, at the time, Holmes was ahead on all 3 scorecards. Ali's only stoppage loss of his career. After the win, Holmes received recognition as a world heavyweight champion by the Ring magazine after that. Now, Ali blamed his poor performance on thyroid medication. Come on, Ali. He was just too old, which he had been taking, saying it helped him lose weight. He weighed 217.5 pounds. That was his lowest weight since he fought George Foreman in 1974. And he said the thyroid medication helped him lose weight, but it left him drained for the fight. He was going to lose because he was taking thyroid, Tylenol, Bayer, Mad Dog 2020, whatever. You was going to lose, Ali. Come on, you was 38 years old, didn't have no business in the ring, man. Stop it. Yeah, thyroid medication, right. Like I said, Mountain property over in East Baltimore was sold too. Okay, now, Holmes seemed to show signs of sadness after punishing Ali so much during the fight. Tears appeared in Holmes' eyes during a post-fight interview. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Holmes cried. When asked why he was crying, he said that he respected Ali a whole lot, and he fought one of the baddest heavyweights in the world. And you cannot take credit from him. Okay. Was one of the baddest heavyweights. He wasn't at that time. Holmes' trainer, Richie Giachetti, called Holmes' pummeling of Ali awful. The worst sports event I ever had to cover. That was Holmes' trainer. Yeah. But y'all still did it. Actor Sylvester Stallone was ringside for the fight and said that it was like watching an autopsy on a man who is still alive. Wow. Watching an autopsy on a man who is still alive. Yeah. He was already suffering from that too, Albert. A good point. His words and stuff was already slurred at that point. He had no business still in the ring fighting. I heard a rumor that he owed Don King some money. And Don King made him fight to pay off the debt. I don't know how true it is. That's what I heard, yeah. But good point, Ali. Parkinson's had already started to set in. Now, the Holmes fight is said to have contributed to Ali's Parkinson's syndrome. Probably did, because he was already suffering from it. That ain't Holmes' fault. He had no business. Ali had no business in there. Now, after 8 consecutive knockouts, Holmes was forced to go the distance against future WBC heavyweight champion Trevor Berbick. Okay, here's Trevor. Right. And between Ali and fighting Berbick, he had 8 consecutive knockouts. But then Trevor Berbick took him the distance. Trevor was a future WBC heavyweight champion. Okay, I remember that fight. That was on April 11th, 1981. Then 2 months later, in his next fight, Holmes knocked out Leon Spinks. Okay, I don't have a picture of Leon. You know what Leon looked like. Knocked out Leon Spinks in 3 rounds, right? Then on November 6, 1981, Holmes rose from a 7th round knockdown by Renato Snipe. Okay, here's Renato. He had dropped Holmes in the 7th round. But Holmes got up and stopped Renato in the 11th. Okay. Excuse me for 1 second, please. 1 second. I'll be right back. I told you I had some workers coming. 1 second. Don't leave. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm phony. That wasn't the workers. I had to go pay my water bill. I'm back though. Nobody left. Ooh, somebody actually came in. Okay. Now, the next, after Renato sniped, Holmes got up off the mat to stop Renato. His next fight was a Jerry Cooney situation. No, not Michael Spinks. Okay, now. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Defeating Cooney. Okay. On June 11th, 1982, Holmes defended his title against Jerry Cooney, the undefeated #1 contender and an Irish American. Lead up to the fight had many racial overtones, with promoter Don King and others hyping Cooney as a great white host. Okay, even the president checked in. President Ronald Reagan. Before the fight, President Ronald Reagan going to set up a telephone to call Jerry Cooney after the fight in Jerry Cooney's dressing room. Didn't put one in Holmes. Then when Holmes won, they hastily put one in his dressing room, but I don't think Holmes took the call. I don't blame him. I wouldn't have took it neither. You should have had a phone in both dressing rooms. Come on, got to be diplomatic. But anyway, yeah, the fight had many racial overtones, including that with the President of the United States. And Don King was hyping Cooney as the great hope. Holmes said that if Cooney wasn't white, he would not be getting the same purse as the champion. Both boxers received $10 million for the fight. Holmes and Cooney is best of very good friends nowadays too. Also, Cooney tried to deflect questions about race. Members of his camp wore shirts that said, "Not the white man, but the right man." That ain't bad, you know. They saying not the white man, the right man is going to win, you know. That ain't bad to me, you know. In their fight preview, Sports Illustrated and Time put Cooney on the cover, not Holmes. Yeah, that was bad there, though. Holmes was the champion. Boxing tradition dictates that the champion be introduced last, but the challenger Cooney was introduced last. It was a whole lot went on around that time, but you know, hey, that's life. That was the 80s, man. Now, the fight was held in a 32,000-seat stadium erected in a Caesar's Palace parking lot, with millions more watching around the world. That was big. After the uneventful first round, Holmes dropped Cooney right in the second. Cooney came back well in the next 2 rounds, joining Holmes with his powerful hook. Cooney had a nasty left hook. Holmes later said that Cooney hit me so damn hard I felt it boom in my bones. Yeah. Cooney was tarring by the ninth. Yeah, Cooney's gas tank failed him. A round in which he had 2 points deducted for low blows. Yeah, he was going low the entire fight. In the 10th, they traded punches relentlessly. At the end of the round, the two nodded to each other in respect. Cooney lost another point because of low blows in the 11th. By then, Holmes was landing with ease. Cooney gas tank. Cooney had got tired by then. In the 13th, a barrage of punches sent Cooney down. He got up, but his trainer, Victor Valley, stepped into the ring and stopped the fight. Yeah, but that tells you Holmes and Cooney are best of friends, are real tight, dear friends right now in real life. After the fight, Holmes and Cooney became close friends. I already said that. Okay, now, that was around the time where Holmes had trouble with the WBC. Okay. The Holmes' next 2 fights were one-sided decision wins over Randall Tex Cobb right there's Randall, and ex-European champion Lucien Rodriguez. There's Lucien. I got everybody in there. Well, that's Lucien fighting. I think it's Texas. I don't know who that is. I thought. Man. There's Lucien on the right. That's the only picture I could find of Lucien. But that was Holmes' next 2 fights after the Cooney fight, where wins over Lucien Rodriguez. Randall Tex Cobb and Lucien Rodriguez. Okay. Now on May 20th, 1983, Holmes defended his title against Tim Witherspoon. You see over there on Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More often. Regular over there. At that time, Tim was the future WBC and WBA heavyweight champion, right? He hadn't won his championships yet, but he was the future WBC and WBA champion, Tim Witherspoon. Yeah, okay, there's Tim. And Tim was a 6-1 underdog going up against Holmes. And at that time, Tim only had 15 professional fights to his name, right? And he surprised a lot of people. He gave Holmes a very difficult fight. But after 12 rounds, they went to 12 rounds then, 12 rounds instead of 15. And after 12 rounds, Holmes retained his title by a disputed split decision. Some thinks Tim won, right? Now, September 10th, 1983, Holmes successfully defended his title by knocking out Scott Frank in 5 rounds. There's Scott on the screen, okay? Holmes then signed to fight Marvis Frazier, Joe's boy. There's Marvis, son of Joe Frazier, on November 25th, 1980. Now, that's where the trouble came in. The WBC refused to sanction the fight between Holmes and the unranked Frazier, okay? They ordered Holmes to fight Greg Page, the #1 contender, or be stripped of the title. Promoter Don King offered Holmes $2.5 million to fight Page. But Holmes didn't think that was enough. He was making $3.1 million to fight Frazier and felt he should get as much as $5 million to fight Page. So he went on and fought Frazier, and he had an easy time with Frazier. Knocked him out in the first round. He was calling the referee to stop it. Hit him a couple times. Come on, referee. Hit him a couple times, waving the referee over. All this happened in the first round. Got him out of there. Referee finally stopped it. In the following months, Holmes relinquished the WBC championship because he didn't fight Page, right? Yeah. He was getting $3.1 million to fight Frazier and Don King offered him 2.5 to fight Page. Holmes wanted $5 million to fight Page, but he would have took 4 or 3.5. Yeah, I think he would have. He was getting 3.1. All I had to do was give him a little bit more. He would have. It wasn't no thing of ducking. It was a money thing with Holmes. Yeah. If he getting 3.1 to fight this unranked guy, why should he fight the #1 contender for less? Makes sense, right? Makes perfect sense. I get it, you know? Okay, this is when the IBF situation came in there now. IBF champion, IBF heavyweight champion. He's been stripped by the WBC or relinquished it. Despite his no longer being recognized by the WBC as champion, Holmes was still regarded as the lineal champion, as well as being recognized as world champion by the Ring magazine. Remember, a few years ago, they had recognized him as champ. Then, on December 11th, 1983, the newly formed International Boxing Federation, IBF, 83, I've told you that many times, remember? The IBF extended recognition to Holmes, and he accepted. See, the IBF was trying to get some credibility, so they gave their titles to already recognized champions of other sanctioning bodies for their credibility. Okay, I think Donald Curry got one. I can't remember the other ones, but yeah, Donald Curry got one in one weight class. Holmes. As 1984 began, Holmes and Jerry Coetzee, the South African guy. Wait a minute, that ain't him. I don't have him. Jerry Coetzee, they didn't fight. Jerry Coetzee, the WBA champion, was signed to unify the titles on June 15th, 1984 at Caesar's Palace. Yeah, Caesar's had all the big fights back then. The fight was being promoted by JPD Incorporated, but it was canceled when Caesar's Palace said the promoters failed to meet the financial conditions of the contract. Holmes was promised $13 million, and Coetzee was promised $8 million. That was a lot in the 80s. Yeah. Even after cutting the purses dramatically, they still couldn't come up with enough financial backing to stage the fight. Don King then planned to promote the fight, but Holmes lost a lawsuit filed by Virginia attorney Richard Hirschfeld, who said he had a contract with Holmes that gave him right of first refusal on a Holmes-Coetzee fight. Holmes then decided to move on and fight someone else. Yeah, so him and the Coetzee fight never happened. That's why I don't have a Coetzee's picture. Okay. Then, on November 9th, 1984, after a year out of the ring, Holmes made his first defense of the IBF title, stopping that's Bone Crusher, stopping James Bone Crusher Smith on a cut in the 12th round. Now, in the first half of 1985, Holmes stopped David Bay, it is David, in 10 rounds for his 19th title defense. Not just IBF, just 19 overall. I think that was his second IBF, I believe. Bone Crusher and David Bay. Yeah. Right. So that's David Bay. He stopped him. Then his next fight was against the original Truth. Carl the Truth Williams. Okay. That's called it. Now Carl was unexpectedly tough. He was younger and quicker than Holmes. He was able to out-jab because Holmes was aging by then, and Carl the Truth surprised everybody by out-jabbing Holmes. And Holmes had a badly swollen left eye by the end of the fight. Now Holmes won a close and disputed 15-round unanimous decision. Okay. Now the Michael Spinks situation starts. Okay. The Snakes fight had the potential to make boxing history. Okay. He agreed to terms to fight Michael Spinks, the undisputed champion at light heavyweight, for his 20th world title defense. September 21st, 1985. A victory for Holmes would have tied Rocky Marciano. Remember, I told you in the beginning, he fell one short. 48-0 at the time he fought Spinks. A victory would have tied Rocky Marciano's 49 consecutive wins without a loss. But Spinks, meanwhile, was looking to join Bob Fitzsimmons as the only other boxer at the time to win titles at both light heavyweight and heavyweight. Later, Roy Jones did it at middleweight and heavyweight. Bob Fitzsimmons had middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. So Spinks was trying to become the first man since then to go from light heavyweight to win titles at light heavyweight and heavyweight, okay? In addition, if Spinks beat Holmes, he would become the first ever reigning light heavyweight champion to win the heavyweight title, because he was still the heavyweight champion at the time of this fight. Okay? Now, before the fight, Archie Moore, the longtime heavyweight champion who unsuccessfully challenged for the heavyweight crown himself 2 times. Archie Moore predicted an easy win for Holmes. I'm afraid Larry will chew him up. Michael may be faster than Larry, but you can only go so fast. That's what Archie Moore said. Now, despite this assessment, it indeed would be Spinks whose historical destiny would be fulfilled as he defeated Holmes via unanimous decision to become the first reigning light heavyweight champion to win the heavyweight title. And I thought Holmes won that fight. After the fight, a bitter Holmes said, Rocky Marciano couldn't carry my jockstrap. I don't agree with that neither. Larry Holmes might have met Susie Q. So you be careful. You're lucky you wasn't in that era. You would have met Susie Q just like all the rest of them, Larry Holmes. Now, Holmes had a rematch with Spinks on April 19th, 1986. Judge Frank Brunette had it. It was 15 rounds then. Spinks won a disputed 15-round split decision. You see, they was having 15 and 12-round fights then. They hadn't gone just solely to 12 yet. So championship fights were still 15 and 12. But anyway, Joe Cortez had it. Joe Cortez was a referee too. He had it 144 to 141 for Holmes. Frank Brunette had it 144 to 141 for Spinks. And Jerry Roth had it 144, 142 for Spinks. In a post-fight interview with HBO, Holmes said, the judges, the referee, and promoters can kiss me where the sun don't shine. And because we're on HBO, that's my big black behind. Yeah, I remember what he said there too. What's his name? What's his name? Larry, what's his name? You know, the one that he hadn't been too long, stop commentating. Larry, you know the guy. I can't think of his name. Okay, so then Holmes retired after that second Spinks fight, okay? But he made some comebacks. On January 22nd, 1988, Holmes was lured out of retirement. To fight, you know who? Mike Tyson. I can't find the Mike. But there it is. Yeah. Yeah, he was lured out of retirement by a $2.8 million purse to challenge reigning undisputed world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. Because Holmes said first he told Don King no. Then when Don King said almost $3 million, he told him yes. Tyson dropped Holmes in the 4th round with an overhand right. Holmes got caught up in the ropes too. Holmes got up, but Tyson put him down 2 more times in the round, and the fight was stopped. It was the only time Holmes was knocked out in his career. After the fight, Holmes retired again. And so Tyson said he was going to get Holmes back for stopping Ali. So Holmes was the only man to stop Ali. And then Tyson was the only man to stop Holmes. So he got him back. Yeah, Tyson did say that. But Holmes retired again after the Tyson fight. But he returned to the ring again in 1991 and became a much more active fighter, usually fighting on USA Tuesday Night Fights card every couple of weeks against up-and-comers and journeymen. After 5 straight wins, this is what Bruce Gass was talking about. He fought Ray Mercer. Yeah, that's right. He fought Ray Mercer, the undefeated 1988 Olympic gold medalist, on February 7th, 1992. Holmes pulled off the upset and won by a 12-round unanimous decision. That's the fight Bruce Gass was talking about. Yeah, when he came back, he got a lot of respect for that fight. Yeah. Pulled it off. And Holmes later claimed that he fought Mercer despite having a detached retina at the time. And the win got Holmes a shot at Evander Holyfield for the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. Okay? On June 19, 1992, Holyfield defeated Holmes by a 12-round unanimous decision. Now, on April 8th, 1995, he fought Oliver McCall. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. I done got, that's Mike. Yeah, I got my pictures of it, but it's all good. He fought Oliver McCall on April 8th, 1995. I got so many today, I knew I was going to get them mixed up. Holmes lost by a close 12-round unanimous decision. 2 of the judges had him losing by 1 point, while the other judge had him losing by 3 points. Holmes was back in the ring 5 months later, resuming the pace he had set since his comeback. Yeah, he was fighting left and right. However, he was growing tired of the sport, and after he fought and knocked out Anthony Willis in June 1996 on another USA boxing event, Holmes announced that unless he received a shot at the title, the fight against Willis was likely his last. On January 24th, 1997, Holmes got his last opportunity to fight for a heavyweight championship when he traveled to Copenhagen to fight undefeated International Boxing Organization, that was one of the lower sanctioning bodies, champion Brian Nielsen. Nielsen won by a 12-round split decision to retain the title. Yeah, Nielsen won by a 12-round split decision to retain the title. Holmes and George Foreman signed the fight on January 23rd, 1999 at the Astrodome in Houston. That would have been a big one too. But Foreman called off the fight several weeks before it was to take place because the promoter failed to meet the deadline for paying him the remaining $9 million of his $10 million purse. Well, he was getting paid before the fight. Damn, Big George. Okay. Foreman received a non-refundable $1 million deposit, and Holmes got to keep a $400,000 down payment of his $4 million purse. So Foreman was getting 10, Holmes was getting 4. Foreman ended up getting $1 million. Holmes got 400,000. Now Holmes' next 2 fights were rematches with old foes. On June 18th, 1999, he stopped Bone Crusher Smith in 8 rounds. And on November 17th, 2000, he stopped Mike Weaver in 6. Holmes' final fight was on July 27th, 2002. I think he was 52 years old too, in Norfolk, Virginia, in which he defeated Eric Butterbean Esch in a 10-round unanimous decision. I don't even know if that was real. Okay, let's look at Holmes' post-boxing life. It's about 3:30. Mhm. Let's look at his post-boxing life. Okay, that's post-boxing Holmes. There's also post-boxing Holmes. Okay. Holmes invested the money he earned from boxing and settled in his hometown of Easton. Now, when he retired from boxing, Holmes employed more than 200 people through his various business holdings. Yeah, he invested well. Yeah. In 2008, he owned 2 restaurants and a nightclub, a training facility, an office complex, a snack food bar, and slot machines. As of 2009, Holmes co-hosted a talk show entitled, What the Heck Were They Thinking? In 2014, Holmes sold his business complex in Easton to entrepreneur Gerald Gorman, CEO of Mail.com. In 2016, Holmes guest starred as himself in an episode of Mike Tyson Mysteries titled Unsolved Situations. Okay. Some honors Eastern Assassin received. Holmes was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2008. He's also in the World Hall of Fame, but the International Boxing is the more prestigious one. Look at his personal life. Okay. In 1979, Larry Holmes married Diane Robinson, with whom he has had 2 children. He also has 3 daughters from 2 previous relationships. As of 2019, Holmes is living in Palmer Township, Pennsylvania, near Easton. Holmes' younger brother, Mark Holmes, was a middleweight boxer from 1980 to 1987. There you have it, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. Next week, the profile is going to be Ricardo Lopez for his career at 105, strawweight, and was champion the entire decade of the 90s. Finished his career 51 wins, no losses, 1 draw. I guess that's why Floyd didn't go for 52, because Ricardo had a draw. I guess they look at that as a blemish, right? Hope y'all enjoyed the show today, the profile. I did. And then remember, I got a big week next week. We're going to talk about a history of the decade. Probably do like 2 a day. We're going to start at 1900, come all the way up to the 90s, because I very rarely go past coming to the 2000s, because that's not history. That's like 20 years ago. But that's what we got next week. Cat Sports the Box Story. We got the Voice coming up in 1/2 hour. He's in the building. Just Do Boxing. Salute. Remo in the building. I haven't been paying attention. Salute to Just Do Boxing, the Voice, and Remo. Hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Hashtag JBT. Don't forget, we got another JBT meeting tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to put the link in since we got like a half hour left to go. Okay. Got my buddy Andre Fines in here with us today. Yeah, I'm going to drop the link in the chat since we got a half hour to go. Anybody want to come up and top it down before we get out of here for the weekend? Come on up. I would appreciate it. But yeah, next week is going to be Ricardo Lopez. Okay. Down, those little guys down there, they don't get their props, so I'm going to profile him. I was saying for the longest time that Joe Louis was the only fighter to be champion for an entire decade, but I was wrong. I recently learned that Ricardo Lopez ruled the 90s. Yeah. 51-0. And if he wouldn't have had that 1 draw, you better believe Floyd would be 52-0. But I guess you look at the draw as a blemish. I don't know. Nobody never beat him, right? Ricardo Lopez. Got put in the link in. But everybody got a big weekend plan. We got fights tonight. What's that card start about 8? ESPN Plus or one of the ESPNs. It's a Bob Father card. Yeah. The Bob Father. And a lot of good young fighters because the Bob Father, you know, he signed almost the entire last Olympic team, remember? And Raymond Real Tyler was scheduled to be on it, I thought. Was he on? But all of a sudden his name is not on there anymore. I don't know what happened. I was looking forward to that. That was one of the highlights of it. But we still got Emiliano Vargas, one of Fernando Vargas' sons, is fighting tonight. Yeah, so it's going to be good. Oscar Valdez, and like I told you in the beginning, Oscar Valdez, since he stopped taking them PEDs, he's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights. And yes, he was caught. Okay? Failed his A and B sample. And since he failed those 2 samples, lost 2 out of his last 3 fights. Okay? So that tells you he was cheating. And he got busted. Got busted. Oscar did. Valdez. Here comes the link just in case anybody wants to. Excuse me. Come on, Cass. What are you doing? Copy and paste. I guess that's right. Yeah. But yeah, I almost got 30 likes yesterday, man. I was rolling. It's supposed to come do some work. They said between 3 and 5. So I thought they was gonna come right soon at 3 soon as I'm in the middle of my show, but they haven't been here yet. So yeah, that is cool, man. But yeah, got all these good JBT channels in the chat. Just do boxing, Remo. Dre Fine is here today. Good to see that, brother. Always good to see Dre Fines. Yeah. Meeting tomorrow. We had a very productive meeting last Saturday. We still got some positions to fill. Yeah. Hashtag JBT. Just boxing talk. Just a group of people that love to talk boxing. That's all. All is welcome at the meeting if you're not doing nothing else. 1 o'clock. Yeah. Yes, yeah, Jay, I see that. You said that was a money grab for Ali. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. But yeah, I was just saying that Holmes said Rocky couldn't carry his jockstrap. He wouldn't have went in there and dominated him like that. You know, if Holmes might have beat him, he wouldn't have dominated Rocky like nobody else did. The man was 49-0. Holmes was just upset at the time because he felt he got cheated, and he was 48-0. He needed that one fight to tie Rocky. That was just frustration talking, you know, because he felt he got cheated out of that win to tie Rocky. That was he didn't really believe that. That was just frustration talking. That's all. Because I believe he would have met Susie Q. You know. He would have got up in there and met Susie Q and been laid out just like Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, Archie Moore, all the rest of them. Ezra Charles, Billy Condiff, and Roland LaStarza. I remember all of them. Yeah, Rocky had 6 title defenses. The first one, he took it from Jersey Joe, then he gave him a title defense. Roland LaStarza was the second. Ezra Charles was third and fourth, fought him twice. Because he stopped everybody he faced in title defense. The first time Ezra Charles went the distance. So he gave him a rematch and stopped him. Then Billy Condiff stopped him. And the final one was Archie Moore. All was introduced to Susie Q. Yep. that bad right hand. And you know, a man name is right hand, he got to be bad. You know, wonder where he came up with that name from. Maybe that's somebody in his family. And I went to his profile. There was nobody named Susie or Susie Q. None of his kids or wife. His wife was named Barbara. Yeah. But the Eastern Assassin today, Larry Holmes, and he had a bad jab, man. Could throw them all. You know, those different variations of the jab I said yesterday. Holmes could throw all of them. The pawing, the up jab, the backhand jab, flicker jab. Long was good at that flicker jab. You know, the pawing jab, that's the one you leave out there. But you don't want to leave it out there too long now. And somebody might slap that thing down, and then you're wide open. You better get that thing back, protecting your chin. Don't leave it out there too long. But the flicker jab is like the pawing, but the flicker is just out and back in. Whereas you leave the pawing out there for it, you just put the flicker, it's fast. Put it out there, bring it back. No, remember Loma does that? Yeah. The up jab is like a hook uppercut. Yeah, Larry Holmes could throw them all, man. Yep. Then we got the card. I'm interested in Rolly and Pitbull. I think I got Rolly pulling it off. Might surprise us and go the distance. Remember, we get those big pressure fighter fights where we're supposed to be fan friendly and somebody get knocked out. Both of them end up being careful and going the distance. I don't think that's gonna happen this time though. There's no backup at neither one of those guys, and they're gonna get in there and go at it. And Pitbull is he's always the shorter man. He was even a shorter man against Tank. So you know he's short. Only man Tank ever had the height advantage over. And so Pitbull is used to working his way up in there. But he's in there against a big puncher this time, man. And I just see him get caught with something. And Rolly getting him up out of there. I think Barroso should get the winner, right? Ismael Barroso. He deserves a title shot. That's how I tell you how backwards boxing is, right? Sebastian Fundora gets a title shot off of getting knocked out. Ismael Barroso just won a title eliminator, but he can't get a title shot. What the hell is going on in boxing, man? I thought a title eliminator meant the winner gets the title shot. But then this guy that gets knocked out, dropped, counted out, he gets the title shot. But a man can win a title eliminator, can't get a title shot. And it was a title eliminator for Rolly's belt. Remember WBA? Rolly didn't want no part of that. Remember after Barroso stopped that last guy, whatever his name was, Rolly gonna jump up on the ring. I wonder what Barroso said to him. You next. Don't jump on the apron, get your ass in here. Yeah, but that's crazy. Isn't that crazy, man? Man, when a title eliminator can't get a title shot, but if one thing man can get knocked out in the last fight, next fight is a title shot. And even if Keith Thurman wouldn't have got hurt and was at the top of the card fighting Tim Tszyu, Fundora was still lined up for the WBC title shot. He was getting a title shot anyway on this card, man. But this card got five title fights on it though, man. That's big. I didn't know that till a little while ago. Yeah, that's big, man. 5 of them. 5 title shots. Now I hope these people that's coming to do this work hold off for like 15 more minutes. I'd be a happy camper. I didn't think I was gonna make it to the show before they came. Nah. Yeah, they got 5 title shots on this card though, man. Yes, I always look at Sporting News because they give good previews of the fights and everything. Man, I can't get it. I just had it. Oh, there it is. I went past it. 5 title fights on the card. Let me reel them off for you. Of course, the first one at the top of the card is Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fendora, right? Then we got the women. No. That's tonight. We got Rolly and Pitbull for Rolly's WBA super lightweight. That's 2. Then we got Lara and Zarafa for Lara's WBA middleweight. That's 3. Then we got Julio Cesar Martinez versus Angelino Cordova for Martinez's flyweight. WBC, that's 4. Then we got an interim belt on the line between Sergio Bohachuk and Brian Mendoza. WBC super welterweight interim, that's 5. The six fights on the card, 5 of them are title fights. That's big. Yeah. That is big, man. And that's tomorrow night. The prime rollout. So that's a pretty good rollout. Yeah, that's the prime rollout tomorrow night. So that's gonna be pretty good. I'll be there. I'm gonna be in front of my TV, but I'll be watching. Cause that's in Vegas. Yeah. That's in Vegas. Oh yeah, and I heard that Bam and Julio Cesar, what's his name? Juan Francisco Estrada. Isn't that his name? Yeah. Fighting that super flyweight for Estrada's belt. A belt that Bam had before. Because Bam been the super flyweight before, right? I got Bam in that one. Yeah. Yeah, I got Bam in that one. Mm-hmm. That's going to be good, though. I think they said like June or something like that. Yeah, but it's coming this summer. So this year is equaling up to last year. And what is this, like our 4th or 5th Friday fight? Something like that. 3rd, 4th. Had a couple of Thursdays. So that's huge. And the last time we had a Friday fight, we didn't get the one on Saturday. But this time we are getting Friday and Saturday. Can't beat that. Mm-hmm. It's definitely too many belts, Remo. Definitely too many belts. But see, the thing is, everybody got that word champion in front of their name. Some sanctioning body got their hands out whenever you fight, digging in your bag for 3% of it. That's what it's all about. Even the North American South Central champion got to pay sanctioning fees. Yeah. They had one of them last Saturday, remember? The North American Intercontinental something champion. Yeah. They just invent them. The WBA something. For sanctioning fees. Definitely got too many. I told you. I counted them up last year of 17 men's weight divisions. It was 80-something champions. Then I did the women, had 17. They had 60-something champions. So a combined 34 weight classes, men and women's boxing, it was almost 150 champions. That was last year. It probably is 150 now. That's ridiculous. It's watered down. And then you got people getting knocked out. Then you get a title shot. You got people win title eliminators, can't get a title shot. So what's going on? You know, I guess no sanctioning body wants Barroso to represent them as their champion. Barroso don't bring no revenue, you know. Barroso doesn't bring the right kind of money. So who wants Big Watch Barroso as their champion? Why did they even put him in a title eliminator if he wasn't going to give him a title shot? Damn. Thought the winner of him and, was it O'Hara Davis, the guy named he beat? Whatever his name was, I thought the winner of Big Watch Barroso and that fight was going to fight Rolly. It was a title eliminator for the WBA. Maybe maybe I got the wrong definition of a title eliminator fight. Then I thought you fought the champion. Title eliminator, right? Where did Pitbull come in at? Pitbull just came to the division, right? And he gets the title shot, but Barroso won the title eliminator, been fighting in the division. He can't get the title shot. I hope you got some step aside. Aunt McQueen, salute. Aunt McQueen in the building. What's up? Yeah. Floyd Patterson. Yeah. Oh, Floyd. Yeah. Yeah, I think Floyd retired, what, like in the 60s or something? Oh, you talking about Floyd Mayweather? Yeah, I was thinking about Floyd Patterson. I'm right now Floyd Patterson. Right now, Aunt McQueen. Aunt McQueen from Casual's Corner in the building. Another past sports winding down for the week. Don't forget, next week it's going to be the decade. We're going to go through these decades and look at the history of boxing from 1900s all the way up to through the 90s. Some of the significant events that happened in boxing during those decades, and some of the top fighters that fought during those decades, and some of the top fights that happened in those decades. That's next week. And then next Friday, the profile is going to be Ricardo Lopez. I think that's his name. I know his last name is Lopez. Let me check. Ricardo Lopez, 105 division champion for the entire decade of the 90s. 51-0. One draw on his record. That's the profile for next week. Those guys down there deserve their credit too. That's why I'm doing Ricardo next week. Okay. Mexican warrior down there. Unbeatable. Yeah, Ricardo Lopez, that's him. That's what we're going to be talking about next Friday. Don't miss that one. That one is going to be good. That's like Joe Louis ruled the 40s. Ricardo ruled the 90s at strawweight. Why do the women call it minimum weight and the men call it strawweight? I don't understand that. Oh, there's Aunt McQueen. Okay. Yeah, he's up, I guess. Yeah. What's up, Aunt? Let me get that off the screen so I can see what's happening.
Oh, I didn't even know I was up here. What's going on with you?
Oh, you're kind of low, Aunt. A little low.
All right, let me change my setting. Hold on.
Coming up now. There we go. Okay.
Had to change my setting real quick.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Loud and clear now. What's happening?
Chilling.
I hear you.
Enjoying this Friday.
Down. Yeah, I hear you. Who you got since you came up? Any picks or anything?
With who specifically?
Tomorrow. Zoo and the main two, Zoo and Pandora and Rolly and Pitbull. Yeah, those two.
Us the fans, we win.
That's true. That's definitely Rolly and Pitbull. I think that's gonna be the fight of
keep it PC. Keep it PC.
Yeah. I think Rolly and Pitbull are gonna be the fight of the whole week of both cards.
Quite possibly. I think so.
Fan friendly. Interesting fight. Very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised whichever way it goes, Depends on what happens in there.
Likewise.
Yeah, Pitbull is used to being, he was even the shorter guy against Tank, remember?
Right.
Not many people can say that.
Yeah, that type of continuity, I think that for guys who often, enjoy either an advantage or they're at a disadvantage regularly, it's not as much of a disadvantage.
That's
that
right.
It would be for other people, like you
Exactly.
pointed out, he's even shorter than Tank. So him being the smaller man against anybody it's commonplace for him. It's just normal.
Right.
And that's what I'm curious to see with this matchup with Fundora and Tim Tszyu.
Oh yeah.
Because Tim Tszyu is he's typically fighting guys that are around the same height. They have comparable dimensions. And even the guy that he was gonna fight, Keith Thurman, they're
Right.
around the same height. So to go from preparing for a guy that's 5'7.5", 5'8", to now all of a sudden you got a 6'5", 6'6" giant in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make the adjustments? And for Fundora, this is business as usual because he's always taller than everybody else.
Always.
Similar
Yep.
to Pitbull always being the shorter man.
Yep. The opposite way though. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: who's taller, Tim Tszyu or Mendoza? Are they around the same, Tim Tszyu and Brian Mendoza?
I believe they're around the same height, but there's nothing that BoxRec can't help us with.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering that because Mendoza was able to catch fun. I think Tim Tszyu can catch him with something.
Yeah, anybody can be caught. I think it's just a matter
busy.
of how you go about it.
How you go about it? That's right.
Mhm.
Tim's been busy too. He had 3 fights last year.
Yeah,
You know,
he
for
has
this era, 3 fights in a year is busy.
Oh, Mendoza's actually a little bit taller than Tim Tszyu.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, by like 2 inches, 1.5 inches. They got Tim Tszyu listed at 5'8.5". Mendoza's listed at 5'10". So
Wow,
it's not a huge disparity in height, but it's a little something.
Something, yeah. I thought he was about 5'8" too, but yeah, 5'10". Okay. Yeah, like you said, that's something. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
What I am thinking about for what's my guy's name? Fundora.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how he goes about staying on the outside. Personally, I think that it will probably be best for him to step over in the circle and just keep pivoting. As opposed to pulling straight back. I think that could probably help him as far as staying off the line for an attack. Because he doesn't necessarily have the quickest feet. So I think that it would be best for him to probably use angles. But
yeah, that would definitely help him.
Tim Tszyu doesn't necessarily have the quickest feet either. And I think that was a distinct advantage that Brian Mendoza had over Fundora. It's like, and I'll say this about Fundora. I've seen multiple people, or I should say I've heard multiple people say that Fundora doesn't use his length. And I'm going to pause for the Prince of BK. Pause. He don't use his length. But when I was watching that fight against Mendoza, he actually was. He was using the jab. And But the thing is with him not having the quickest feet, if you could slip inside the jab, you can close the distance with your feet, with your foot speed. But that's not something that is characteristic of Tim Tszyu. He doesn't necessarily have the quickest feet. As you've pointed out before, he's got adequate feet because he doesn't have a problem getting where he needs to be in order to increase his chances of success. But it's not quick and explosive. So
where he could be able to slip in like you was just saying.
Right. So I think that Fundora, he's got to try to use those angles and get Tim Tszyu to overcommit. If he can get him to overcommit, then he can time him for those short little uppercuts that he likes to throw on the entry. And conversely, I feel like with Tim Tszyu, if he can hang back a little bit and not press a little bit too much, he can get Fundora to give up his height. Now you want him to try to step on the inside as opposed to staying on the outside. And the way that you do that is not just by pressing him, but allowing him to shoot a couple shots. Lay back a little bit and allow him to fall in, and you kind of set the trap like a Venus flytrap. You see how they operate? They just chilling. And when the fly
comes
is in proximity, then boom, that's when you snap.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's going to be an interesting card, especially the top 2.
Oh,
tonight is on ESPN, right? ESPN Plus or something. Bob Father.
The Bob Father. We have something on ESPN Plus tonight?
Isn't that the top rank card with today is Friday, right? Yeah. Valdez, that's tonight, right? Yeah.
Ooh.
29. Yeah, that's tonight. Valdez and Liam Wilson, and then they got the Sinisa Estrada is fighting Yocasta Raleigh. It's an undisputed women's fight. Yeah.
You are sure about that, sir? I'm looking at BoxRec. Yeah, Liam Wilson.
29.
Ooh, I see he's only got 2 losses, but both of them, he got stopped.
Yeah.
In both of those losses, and
Navarrete beat both of them last year.
True indeed.
Yeah. Valdez lost 2 out of his last 3.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get back to boxing a little bit more. Let me not even say boxing, because I don't even want to use that term, because because I believe that all of it is boxing. Like if you're coming forward and making the fight, and the other guy, he's known to wilt under the pressure, then that indeed is boxing. If the other guy can't cut the ring off and you're using your legs and using angles, that is boxing. Let me not say he needs to box more. I'll say this: I would like to see him be a little bit more patient, look to counter punch in spots, like a similar performance to what he had with Miguel Burchelt a couple of years ago.
Oh,
that was such a sensational knockout where he weaved several shots and then boom, slipped one right in there, KO punch, got him up out of there. We haven't really seen that from Oscar Valdez in his past couple of fights. I think that maybe he's fallen in love with his power a little bit too much, and he does pack a decent punch. I mean, not even say decent. He's a pretty good puncher, man. He's got a 74% KO ratio, so the guy can clearly crack. But I think that tactically, he's been a little bit rigid in his approach in his past couple of fights, where he's just going out there winging those big hooks and not looking to set things up and not looking to set traps. It's just going out there, just winging hooks, kind of like what we've seen from Pitbull in that last fight against Giovanni Cabrera, where there were a couple of times where he used his jab and when he threw straight punches and he was able to get the target, but for the most part, he was just out there throwing wild hooks, overhands and all that stuff, and Giovanni was able to evade him for the most part.
Yes, he was.
I still think he did enough to win the fight, but that's what I'd like to see from Valdez tonight. Like, use your jab a little bit more, look to set things up, and then even look to set traps. Don't just go out there just winging those big hooks looking for one punch.
Like he's been doing the last few fights.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen from him. Especially the one, what was the one before Navarrete? They got Blue Nose, Lopez.
Yes.
Adam Lopez.
Yes, Adam Lopez. He was just out there just winging them, and it's like, man,
wow.
Just sit back a little bit sometimes and look to set those traps. But that seems to be a staple within that Reynoso gym. Guys coming forward in that high guard, spring loading that back leg, looking to maximize their power for the hook. So they like to set a lot of those traps off the high guard. So you throw something at the guard, there's that automatic response, that left hook.
Yeah.
And I just think the attack needs to be a little bit more nuanced than that, especially at this point. There seems to be, a scouting report on these guys that's what they like to do. And depending on the opponent, they're able to nullify that to a large degree. Like you pointed out, Navarrete was just like keeping him so busy, you couldn't just throw those single shots.
No.
Shout out to my guy, Mr. Interstellar. I can't call him International anymore, Senior, because this guy is putting it down across the galaxy, across the universe. Mr. Interstellar.
Yeah. I didn't know Senior came. What's up to the Rise Podcast, the closer? Yeah, we gotta get ready to get on out of here too, Ant.
Yep. It's time for the voice.
Yeah, time for the voice. I'm gonna run on over there.
My friend and yours. Yeah. Mr. Just Do.
I appreciate
it, talking to you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm pretty sure we'll talk a little bit later about those fights.
No doubt. Yeah, you had came in a little later. I wish I had put it in like 3:30, but then you came in. But I'm glad you came up when we had a little time. And I'll talk to you later on somewhere today.
Yep. We got all that Apple chat and all that stuff going on anyhow, so.
Yep.
But appreciate you, Cass Sports, the Boxtorian, aka 2 o'clock Shorty, holding it down.
When the next Casuals Corner coming on before you go?
I have no idea. I'm always super casual with it. That's why it's also the Casuals Corner, because I'm just casual. It's like it's real sporadic.
I like that format. Yeah.
Whenever inspiration strikes.
Yep. You get one of them at any kind. Just turn your notifications on.
It could be at 339. Who knows? All right.
That's
Have
right.
a good one.
You too. That was Ed McQueen from Casual's Corner. It's now time for Just Do Boxing, the voice. I am out of here until Monday, but I will see you somewhere along the way today between Just Do Boxing, J Hardcore at 8 o'clock, and the Rise Podcast, The Closer, at 9 o'clock. Everybody have a good weekend. Don't forget, next week, we're going to be talking about a history of the decades, starting at 1900 all the way up. And next Friday, it's Ricardo Lopez. It's the profile. Strawweight guy, was champion all the way through the 90s. But I appreciate everybody. This is Caz Sports. Just Do Boxing, probably already in progress. See y'all later.